My name is Joe. 20 years ago, my wife and I moved to Lake County with our 4 young children and settled down. In that time, we've worked, worshiped, played, and raised our family. Today, I've met the people and discovered the businesses and organizations that make up a vibrant, dynamic community. Join us as we share with you what makes South Lake great. I'm Joe, and Joe knows South Lake. Welcome, and happy Friday. Man, I am so stoked. I am energized today, partly because I'm on cup number 5.
There's a chamber breakfast this morning, Joe. We had plenty of coffee.
That's right, and that chamber breakfast was actually my 3rd appointment of the morning. And I managed to squeeze one in between the chamber breakfast, an impromptu meeting with some congressional reps between the chamber event and getting here for the show. So the upside is I'm charged, I'm ready, we have an exciting show, but I'm probably going to crash right around 3:30, 4 o'clock. My wife's going to say, what's wrong with me? I'm going to say, well, when I left the house at 4:30 a.m., you were still sleeping. That's what's wrong with me. Right. So happy South Lake morning. We're so glad to have you here. I'm really psyched. We have a great show for you today. As usual, as you know now, this is Joe Knows South Lake, and I am Joe Carlisle. Today, we have a cool show. We're going to talk about Chocolate Cupcake Day, and I got a secret day for you I didn't want Jay to know about. So we're going to talk about that real quick. We're going to talk about predictions and people who make predictions on markets and housing and the future. So we talk about that for a second. We're going to have a cup of Joe. We're going to wrap up our series on success. And finally, we have our Friday Star Teacher Spotlight. I'm so excited to have Andy Deen, the band director at Lake Minneola High School. An amazing guy, humble guy. This is going to be something. Stay tuned. We're going to hear from that family of sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to get started. See you in a minute.
Hello, I'm Mary Rhodes with the mortgage firm, your local mortgage lender. I've helped thousands of families achieve the dream of homeownership in Lake County, and I would love to help you. Please read our reviews and visit us at mortgagefirmpros.com.
Welcome to Erikas Tea Room. Located in the heart of downtown Claremont, this specialty tea shop offers a traditional high tea experience that can be enjoyed with family and friends. While here, you can choose from over 100 teas from all over the world, and a multitude of teapots are available for purchase. Join us for lunch or choose from one of our special evening events. Call to make a reservation. Erikas Tea Room, making memories with every cup.
And welcome back. So good to hear from our family of sponsor, Mary Rhodes and the others. Erica's new episode of Erikas Tea Room premiered last night. Good to have that. That's really coming together. I think one of your best episodes, Jay.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
I can tell you really know what you're doing.
Sometimes, yeah.
And so, Jay is cool. He really is an artist. I see him film stuff, but I'm always enthralled by his craft because I get to see it in work. And even here, I don't see it as much as when we go out and film something. Next week, we'll be premiering a new spotlight, South Lake Bites. We covered Vita 365. You're going to have to stay tuned for that. We'll tell you when that comes on. But watching him film it was just really a joy because you could tell he really knows what he's doing. So,
thank you, Joe.
You know what my biggest struggle though is, Jay?
What's that?
I had somebody teach. We're doing something new, so obviously we have to teach people how to do things sometimes. Somebody was telling me that whenever they try to watch my show, there's something wrong because all they get is a screen that says "Stay tuned, going live."
Yeah,
and
I'll explain that real quick. Do you want me to explain that, Joe?
Yeah, please.
So our system, we output it through YouTube first so that way it goes to our site. But in order for all the little dots to connect, you have to start your recording about 3 to 4 minutes before you actually go live. So anyone who's actually watching it on YouTube, I'm sure you've probably seen, stay tuned, going live. That's because it's connecting all the little dots and it has to be recording and actually playing first before everybody can see it. So I don't know that there's a fix for it other than the fact that I will say this. We have just brought on a student from East Ridge High School. His name is Robert. He is actually going to be helping us doing some minor editing here in the office, and that's one of the things we are going to task him with after the fact that the episode is over, going back through and trimming out some of those, stay tuned, going live kind of things, so that way it gets straight into the episode. Because usually by the time we get done with this show, I'm either running out, to go to get 16 other things or have 20 other meetings.
Yeah,
so,
find advertisers, that sort of thing.
Man,
got to keep the lights on.
We got to keep the lights on. So we will be bringing some folks in to try to readjust that, so it's a less time that you have to wait to actually get to the interview and to get to the show. But that is some feedback that we have gotten.
I think the thing I thought was amusing, and I've had to tell this to a bunch of other people, so if you're watching, please pay attention. If you've gotten past that, okay, the screen says stay tuned, going live. The instructions are right there.
I thought I was pretty specific when I typed it out. But,
So what's cute is the look on people's face when I'm like, well, did you stay tuned for like 90 seconds? Well, no, I just thought there was something wrong. Well, you were watching it live. It said stay tuned. Just follow instructions, folks.
I know.
Everybody is sweet. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate the opportunity
if we're
to say
feedback. That means
that's
somebody's
right.
watching.
People are trying to watch at least. So. Hey, look, I'll be starting an email list too. I didn't tell Jay about this. You might want to throw my information up real quick. I'm going to be starting an email list. If you'd like to have a weekly email telling you who's going to be on, maybe some of the cool stuff we're doing here at South Lake TV, certainly what's going on Joe Knows South Lake, announcing new programs and that sort of thing, email me. Tell me you want to be on the email list. We'd love to hear you. So may be able to put a link at some point in the episodes in the comments. But for now, just send me an email and I'm starting to create that list. So we'll keep you tuned on that. All right, let's get to the show. All right, it is National Chocolate Cupcake Day. Now, the cool thing about chocolate cupcake is, I don't know why, it's only Chocolate Cupcake Day. It seems to me I'm not a fan of chocolate cupcakes. I like all sorts of cupcakes. If you like chocolate cupcakes, the way to do it is to honor the day is go eat a chocolate cupcake. Pretty self-explanatory, huh?
And I will say this, on the most recent episode of Erikas Tea Room last night at 8 o'clock, it's also going to be replaying throughout the day, different time periods. One of the things that we focus on was the high tea experience that you get at Erikas Tea Room. And one of the things that they actually serve is a chocolate lava cupcake. So you should definitely go to Erikas Tea Room and check that out, since it is Chocolate Cupcake Day.
I agree with that. And there is actually also a company that specializes in alcohol cupcakes, but most of their cupcakes are also chocolate based. So I will have to come to you. I couldn't find them this morning in the rush, but Chocolate Cupcake Day. The other day it is, and this is the secret I held from Jay, it is actually National No Beard Day, Jay.
No beard?
No Beard Day. That means, as I love to tell all my friends and all my children, embrace the face, man.
I don't know, man.
It's okay to look a little younger.
I'm trying to keep viewers, man. If I started showing this face off, I don't know.
I think, when I was your age, Jay, it was guys who wore beards were considered a little nasty. It's a completely different shift in the cultural idea, and I don't know why. Because trimmers are more, but I actually. Speaking of beards, I've been amazed by a television ad about manscaping. Don't do it. Don't. Just stop. Please.
That's right up there with the Capillus ad.
I mean, yeah, I complete prime time too, and a show for the whole family. I don't want to know about that. I don't know about female scaping or manscaping. So it is No Beard Day. And actually, no joke, No Beard Day is for those guys who grow a little bit of beard, because November is No Shave November. Like October celebrates breast cancer awareness. Colon cancer for men is Awareness Day for November, and you don't shave to bring awareness to friends and family who have had cancer. So, okay, enough of that. Predictions. We're at the chamber function, and there was a great event, very informative, about some of our members were talking about where they think the market's going, and is the housing market right, and I didn't agree with something that they said. My struggle with people who make any kind of predictions, especially about the economy, about an election, who could have known about Donald Trump? Nobody thought he would win, even the people who supported him. Very few actually thought that he might take it. So these people are making predictions about the economy and the real estate market, but they're not taking into consideration factors that didn't exist the last time the market turned. And I see this kind of thing all the time. So I just want to say about predictions, whenever you're watching the news or you're reading a book and they're predicting a catastrophe of some sort or a change in the market, whether they're predicting an upswing or a downswing, be aware that most people who are making those predictions are making those predictions on past history. Do you know by law, an investment company, somebody selling stocks, can't tell you what the stock is going to do based on past performance? They actually all have in their thing a little asterisk and fine print that says predictions can't be based on previous performance is no guarantee of future previous history, no guarantee of future performance. The truth is there are all sorts of factors that people aren't taking into consideration. And I was just talking to Jay. We may talk about some of these factors in a home front a little bit down the road, maybe in a few weeks, maybe in January. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But the point is, be careful getting all torn up and wrapped up into predictions. The truth is, what affects your life can't be predicted. Only you can affect your life. And that actually brings us to the cup of Joe. We talked about success all week. So we talked about you had to have belief. And we talked about you had to have the vision. That was day one. With day two, we talked about you had to put in the work. Yesterday, we talked about adjusting, assessing, and adapting and implementing. But once you've done all of that, the real factor, the real determining factor for success in your life is patience. It's the ability to look past what is going on right now and to complete your process on a daily basis. Jay and I can be struggling sometimes with beating our heads against the wall about getting people to understand what we're doing and getting people to watch. But the truth is we both believe in what we're doing. And as long as we continue to call people, I schedule guests every day, at least I try to. In my real estate business, I call people or write a card every day. Sooner or later, that's going to build up, and I don't know when it'll break through. I can't tell you what individual thing or message is going to get me to the place I want to be. Jay and I can't tell you what meeting is going to get us the support we need to do all of the programs we want to do. All we can control is our process over time. They call this being dedicated to the process without being emotionally attached to the results, which is very, very hard, by the way. And we can have a whole week about that. But I want to say, if you want to really be a success, you've got to be patient. Now, I will tell you right now, do not ask God to give you patience. Because if you ask God to give you patience, some crap's going to happen in your life, and that's going to get tested. You have to be willing to work on patience yourself. And that means looking past the way you feel today. Do not run on your feelings. Looking past the way things are going today and getting to tomorrow. You're depressed? Work your process. You're happy? Work your process. You're blah? Work your process. Your wife climbs up your butt? Work your process. Somebody pulls out funding? Work your process. Eventually that process will bring results, and you will be a success. At least everybody will see you that way. Anyway, so that's it for that. We're going to hear from our family of sponsors, because the important thing on Fridays is our Star Teacher Spotlight. You know, our teachers are heroes. They don't get as much credit as they should. Our cops are important. Our firemen are important. But you know, without our teachers, our society would crumble. One of the things that's unique about America is the free public education that we have. As a matter of fact, every country in the world that has a free public education at some point in history based it on the American system. They're all trying to get what we have. Now, With that said, the teachers are the linchpin to that, because without the teacher, we can change the way we do it, whether it's online or in a classroom, but without the teacher to teach, it's not going to happen. So today, we have Andy Deen, the band director for the Lake Minneola High School Band. I'm so excited. When we come back, we're going to have him. I'll see you in a minute. Don't go away. You must hear from this guy. Talk to you in a minute.
Hello, my name is Michael Singh with Singh Insurance and Financial Services. Our goal is to build trust based on a clear understanding of how your insurance policy protects you, your family, and even your business. When was the last time you took a good hard look at your insurance coverage? Would you be open to the possibility of reviewing your policy with me? One review of your policy can save you valuable time and money. Call me today to set up a review of what may be available to you.
Purchasing a home? Hi, I'm Mary Rhodes with the Mortgage Firm, your local direct lender for FHA, VA, conventional, and USDA mortgages. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, a seasoned investor, or looking to purchase a vacation home, we can help. Visit our website today for more information.
The best things in life aren't items we can grab and hold. They are the moments that grab and hold us. Moments that captivate us, inspire us, and enrich us. Moments that bring joy, strength, and peace. At Singh Insurance and Financial Services, we help you to treasure these times by being there when life's most difficult moments arise. Through our services, you will find independence, flexibility, health, and security that will prosper and protect your life. Whether you are driving that new car, buying that new home, opening that new business, or building a new family, we provide you the peace of mind and freedom to enjoy life's best things. Your next moment is waiting. Are you ready?
Man, welcome back. It is always so good to hear from our family of sponsors. And I'll tell you what, that Michael Singh, he is an amazing guy, an amazing businessman who knows his stuff. Take your business to him. I want to say welcome, Andy. This is Mr. Andy Deen. He is the band director for Lake Minneola High School. He is our star teacher spotlight today. He actually has a little known qualification. Andy was introduced to me by Catherine Deen, who was here earlier last week, and I really, really appreciate it because he's doing some amazing stuff. So welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming in. All right. Mr. Andy Deen, band director. All you kids call him Mr. Deen. Don't try to Andy. He is the band director at Lake Minneola High School. He is also tapped, because he's been doing it long enough, he's usually tapped to be a judge for marching band and solo performances. He holds a bachelor's degree in music performance from Gettysburg College, a master's degree in music performance from the University of Florida. He is the treasurer of the Lake County Music Educators Association and the proud husband of Catherine Deen from
First
the
and
city of
foremost.
Claremont.
Yes.
If you're a wise husband,
Yes.
you're always Mr. Wife.
That's right.
Well, it's good to have you, man.
Thank you for having me.
I just really, really appreciate you coming out here. I know it's not easy because, you have classes to teach and everything. So let me ask, there might be an idea, say band director, and some people might blow that off, get some, times at Ridgemont High idea.
Sure.
Tell us what being a band director encompasses.
Well, when I first started down this road, one of my mentors said the time in front of the students is going to be about 5 to 10% of the job, and he was right. So I often say it's wearing many hats. If there's music to be organized, you're doing that. You're helping set up parent volunteers. It's very challenging, but I enjoy, 1 minute I'll be, today I was helping build some props for the marching band show and getting a little dirty with that. And then, of course, is a more traditional, having a baton and running rehearsal. So it really is a great, very diverse job, and it keeps me out of trouble for sure. So
now I would imagine you have to have a passion for music. Obviously, you studied it for several years.
Yes.
How do you what brought you to the place where you wanted to impart that to young minds?
Well, something I like to talk about because students in high school are trying to figure out what they want to do. But when I was in high school, I did not want to be a band director. I wanted to be a professional oboist, and that's actually what both my degrees are in. And a mentor suggested that I apply for a part-time band director job, and I realized that was my calling. And so that's kind of how I fell into the path. There's a couple of different ways to go, but really not until I was 21 or 22 did I realize this is what I wanted to do. So I was a little bit of a latecomer. But
now, you as band director, again, that seems to be such a vanilla title.
Sure.
Give us an idea of some of the types of music. I mean, you were telling me earlier that it's marching band,
yes,
and this performance, and tell me about all the organizations you have to teach.
What's great about it is literally every class period is a different, for me, it's because it's a different ensemble. So Lake Minneola High School, we're blessed to have 2 different concert bands, and that's something that I was able to start last year with the support of the administration. And the great thing is then you have the students in the top band who are the older students, and then you have a younger band for training the younger students, and then it's already really reaped a lot of benefits. So we have 2 concert bands, we have 2 jazz bands, and then I have percussionists in their own class, which is right after lunch, and it's very loud. And then I have the color guard in their own class. So it's 6 different classes of different things. And then, like you mentioned, the marching band, of course, is what most people think of. It's the most visible ensemble. They perform every year for about, I don't know how many thousands of people, but home games and parades. And that's where all of the different ensembles come together into one big group. And this year, that's about 85 students.
So marching band isn't just about football.
It's a lot of different things. It's football, it's parades, it's pep rallies. We started a new tradition last year where every home game, the band plays in the courtyard at the school. So about 6:45 a.m. we get the student body excited for the home game. But
did you say 6:45
yes,
a.m.?
Yes, before school.
Wow.
Yeah, before anyone is
you
awake.
Get kids awake and ready by that point,
They just have an extra, coffee and they're good to go. But yeah, the marching program at Lake Minneola is state ranked. We've been state finalists 2 years in a row, which means top 5. And last year we kind of had an off year, but we're hoping this year we'll be back at that. So
you're in the midst of competitions. Mm-hmm. You do the jazz band. Obviously, you're doing jazz.
Right.
Some of the more performances, I'm sure you're doing contemporary music as well as traditional music.
A little bit of everything.
A lot of times when money gets tight in a county and in education, so thankfully we're in a good economy, so money's coming in probably not as quickly as we'd all like into education.
Yes.
I mean, my wife is a teacher, so I know teachers and schools are grossly underfunded.
Right.
They talk all the time about cutting performance programs. I know I was an actor, and it seems like very few schools still have an acting program that's at least supported with class time. It could be a volunteer thing afterwards. Tell us about the importance of music. Why is it important to have a band?
Well, I think a lot of the students would say that literally music is what keeps them in school, and it's what they look forward to the most. So, it's really their home. It's their home away from home. I've always said a busy teenager is a happy teenager, and, our students are very engaged. I've always had a theory that the attendance for kids in music programs is higher than in the rest of the school. I don't know if the statistics back up that claim, but it really does seem like when students come to high school, if they find a group, be that athletics or clubs or anything, when they find that group that gets them engaged, that's when they're successful. It's the students that are maybe afraid to reach out and find a group that they have a harder time engaging with it. But I think our band students really have found their niche in the school and are doing well. It's something like no other activity, and it helps them express themselves, and we're very proud of what the students do. So,
do you know when we talked to some of the coaches of the football teams, they talked about having a minimum grade point average. They have to be an athlete.
Right.
They have to also be an academic.
Right.
A student comes first.
Right.
Do you have the same kind of thing for some of the bands?
Yes, there's a 2.0 average, just like for athletics. I guess what we're hoping to teach through music is just that excellence is a way of life. And it's sad when I'll see a student excelling in band and then slacking in their other classes, and it's like, we want you to learn that this kind of standard that we're teaching you in band is hopefully something you can take in other areas of your life.
I would imagine that something like band, I mean, I know statistically that children who learn to play an instrument do better in school, do better in college, they do better in life. I think it has to do with the discipline.
It does.
Right? You're learning. It's kind of like the same thing on average, students who are athletes
Right.
do better later in life because they
Right.
learn some discipline.
Well, what we're seeing and what I talk a lot about is delayed gratification. And not that I'm much older than the high school students, but we just live in such an instant era right now. To give you perspective on this, we're working on a marching show that we've started in May. And in May, it sounds and looks nothing like it's going to be by the end of the season. And for the kids to have that experience of basically a 6-month investment on something, it really teaches all of us just to be in the present. It's one of the few places that people want to put their phones away. Like, I'm not having to, tell people to hide their phones. Like, it's just a very
if you're going to pay an instrument, you got to pay attention, right?
No, it's a very present and mindful activity in a day and era where all of us, adults included, are not able to do that as much as we maybe used to do. So yeah, it's very special. I think it's teaching real world lessons that hopefully the students will carry with them.
So how long have you been band director there?
This is my 8th year total, but it's my 3rd year at Lake Minneola High School.
So do you have standouts every year? Do you have kids that stick out to you that you think
we do
you could really make a career of this?
Yeah, there's always one or two kids that either have the talent or work ethic or both that you hope to see continue. And it's definitely exciting to see that passion in some of the students, and hope. My band directors, I'm actually still in touch with them from high school, and they, even though at the time I didn't know I wanted to do music, they had a big influence on my life. And the neat thing, actually, I've had now 2 different opportunities where my band director who started me on my instrument actually judged my band. So when I was a 6th grader, he helped start me, and then he's kind of towards the end of his career, and I'm in the beginning of mine. But it's just cool to see that feedback.
Right, the full circle sort of thing.
It was a full circle moment.
Do you know, it's the kid who's good, the kid who excels. It's easy to pour into him and want him to get better. But you probably have the other kids who really want to do it, and maybe they've got a little less talent. How do you encourage them? Because here at the show, we have the firm idea that there's nothing you can't achieve as long as you make the right choices long enough. And I know when I was raising my kids, I used to teach them, you may not have the talent, but if you put in the work, you can exceed far faster than the guy who has talent and won't.
It's funny, I literally just said that to some students not even 2 days ago. That same phrase. But what's exciting really for us to see is when the freshmen become sophomores and have that first chance to interact with the brand new kids, and you look at the growth they've made in a year, and it's incredible. You definitely have those students who at first are hanging on for dear life. They don't know if it's right for them, but after a year, there's so much growth, and when it's their turn to finally give back, it's just exciting. And that's what makes the program go round. Is there's a time when you come in and are learning, and then there's a time when you get to turn that around and give it back to others.
But is that natural for the kids? Do they just do you have to encourage that or
I
teach
think they
that,
want
or
to.
do they just turn and try to bring the next guy along?
Yeah, no, they're good kids. And we talk about with music especially, it's one of the few things where there is no bench, and the whole band is evaluated. We get one score, we get one rating, and so there's also a side of that where the kids know they need the other kids to be successful, and it's unlike their other classes where it's not just their own grade. I mean, obviously they do get their own grade, but when we do band events, if they haven't helped somebody else, the whole band will suffer. And so the more we think about that group mentality, and again, that's just something that I don't think a lot of kids or adults are thinking in that way anymore. And so it's kind of refreshing that it's a very communal, it's a very we all rise or fall together kind of environment. So
I can remember being in college and I studied theater, and I'd always be jealous of my friends that were musicians because they could get together and earn extra money doing what they loved.
Yeah.
And I had to go wait on tables.
Yes.
Hey, let me ask you this. Unfortunately, recently there was a tragic fire at East Ridge High School in their band room. I understand they can't even get into the room because the air is still carcinogenic.
Yep.
They lost a lot of instruments and a lot of music. I understand that you guys, even though they're your quote-unquote rival, your competition at these things, you guys reached out.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about how that all came together.
Let me start off by saying all of the band directors here in Lake County are very collegial. We're all in great terms with each other, and we all know what it's like to have good seasons and bad seasons, and so no one hesitated to reach out. And so we reached out and offered to lend some instruments. And we also decided that at our fall concert, which was about a month ago, we donated $1 per ticket sold to their program, which was just a small gesture. But what was neat about that is it ended up having some of the Eastridge High School students came to our concert and thanked the students and I for that donation. It was just a great way to help let them know that we're there for them. And so yes, we do compete on the field, but at the end of the day, we're all in it together. And so we just hope that they continue to rebuild from this. So.
We have your, I think this is your website.
Yes.
To walk us through this for a few minutes.
Absolutely.
We're about to run out of time, but
Sure.
I wanted to make sure we get time for this.
So if you'd like to visit lmhsbands.com, and we also have a Facebook and Instagram pages, but on our website you can find our calendar, and you can find a whole bunch of information and history, pictures, videos, and it's a great way to see what we're doing.
You got a full calendar,
Yeah,
don't
there's
you?
not many days there that are blank. Today's one of the only days we call it Bandtober in October. But yeah, we have 2 more home games if people want to come and see the band, and we have a competition this Saturday at Tarpon Springs High School. We'll have a winter concert. There's a lot of things going on. We always love to see a good audience in the crowd.
We live stream those games, I believe.
Yes, you live stream.
This is your Facebook page?
Yes, tomorrow. Yes. That is our Facebook page, and you can find out more information. We've got some spirit nights coming up and different things.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, we live stream the game. So, and I noticed actually,
and the band was there.
Yeah, the band is there. We get to see them.
And what was neat is we actually used that video the next day. We had a competition, and for some reason I didn't have a video that night. I usually do, and we actually were in our band room the next day using that live stream, and I was pausing it and helping the kids. We were looking at a performance. So you actually inadvertently helped our first competition to go even better. So thank you for that.
That's the whole point of giving back to the community and doing the live streams. It's not just about the kids on the field. It's about anybody who takes part.
Sure.
I really want to say thank you, Andy, for
Absolutely.
coming out and doing this with us. Give us a little slice of what you're dealing with.
Sure.
Really quickly, where do you hope this all goes?
Yeah, so last year was a big year for us. We went to the Peach Bowl, and that was our first out-of-state trip. So we're just hoping to continue to raise the visibility. We like to say we're representing Minneola wherever we go, and so we've entered the band into a few concert band competitions. We're hoping to see some different elements like that, but I would just say continuing to increase the of course the numbers. We always want to see more students means more opportunities, but just continue to see the program develop and thrive, and hopefully get more invitations, and maybe some. We've talked about some other out-of-state trips down the road, so we'll see where things go.
Well, I'm sure it sounds like the band is in very good hands, and I'm sure we'll see and hear more of the Lake Minneola High School
Absolutely.
band. What is the band called? What is the name of the band?
The Marching Green and Gold.
The Marching Green and Gold. I'm sure we'll hear more from the Marching Green and Gold. I want to say thank you for joining us. You've been a great guest. Look, if you know of anybody who should be a guest on Joe Knows South Lake, I am still looking for students and teachers throughout the South Lake area, or guests for any other day of the week. Please reach out to me. I'm sure Jay has the information up already. If you know anybody that should be advertising on our show, we still have sponsorships available for our sports program, for our Spotlight sponsorship program, and for other sponsorship programs. So please use the same information and reach out to me. And finally, there is greatness inside you. And like Andy obviously has done, go forth and let that greatness shine. Dare to show the world that you have greatness. This has been Joe Carlisle with Joe Knows South Lake. I'll see you on Monday, and I love you. Bye-bye. My name is Joe. 20 years ago, my wife and I moved to Lake County with our 4 young children and settled down. In that time, we've worked, worshiped, played, and raised our family. Today, I've met the people and discovered the businesses and organizations that make up a vibrant, dynamic community. Join us as we share with you what makes South Lake great. I'm Joe, and Joe Knows South Lake.